In the still of the night, a piercing scream echoed through the corridors of a grand hotel. This was not the hushed whispering of the wind or the soft hum of a dream. It was a cry of pure, unadulterated terror that sliced through the silence like a razor, sending shivers down the spines of every guest and staff in the hotel. In the heart of this grand establishment, room 333 sat ominously quiet, a stark contrast to the pandemonium that the scream had stirred. A guest, a seemingly ordinary man who had checked in just hours ago, had let loose this primal scream, transforming the once tranquil hotel into a hive of frenzied activity. His face, ashen and contorted with fear, bore the mark of a horrifying encounter. His eyes, wide and wild, told a tale of terror that words could barely express. He claimed to have seen something in room 333, something that was not of this world, something that had looked right into his soul with an icy, spectral gaze. His words, though muddled with fear, painted a chilling picture. He spoke of shadows that moved on their own, of an icy presence that filled the room, and of a feeling of dread that sank deep into his bones. He insisted that he was not alone in room 333, that there was an unseen entity sharing the space with him, an entity that did not care for his comfort or his sanity. The staff, though seasoned in handling all kinds of guests and their peculiarities, were at a loss. Never before had they encountered such a terrified guest, nor dealt with claims of a spectral presence in one of their rooms. The other guests, too, were rattled, their peaceful night turned into a nightmare by a single bone-chilling scream. In the still of the night, a piercing scream echoed through the corridors of a grand hotel, a sentence that marked the beginning of a long, terrifying night. A night that would forever be etched into the annals of the Grand Hotel's history. And thus began the chilling tale of room 333. Room 333, an ordinary number for an extraordinary room. Nestled in the heart of a historic city, the hotel stands as a timeless testament to bygone eras. It's a grand old dame that's seen more than her fair share of history. But among its many rooms, one stands out from the rest. Room 333. This room, with its unassuming number, has been the epicenter of countless tales of unexplained phenomena. Each story only adds another layer to the enigma that is room 333. It's a room that, despite its opulent furnishings and breathtaking views, many guests request specifically not to be placed in. And who could blame them? After all, who would want to share their room with the unknown? Over the years, guests and staff alike have reported strange happenings within these walls, objects moving of their own accord, chilling whispers in the dead of night, shadows that dance in the corners of your eye only to disappear when you turn to face them. There's the tale of the businessman who woke to find his suitcase unpacked, his clothes neatly folded on the bed, a service the hotel staff insist they did not provide, or the newlyweds who claim to have been woken by a spectral figure standing at the foot of their bed, watching them with an unseen gaze. And let's not forget the countless hotel staff who dread the end of the month. For it's said that the activity within room 333 intensifies during the full moon. The whispers grow louder, the shadows more restless, and the room itself seems to emanate an eerie chill that seeps into the bones of anyone brave enough to enter. Rumors swirl around room 333. Some say it's haunted by a vengeful spirit, others believe it's a portal to another realm. But amidst all the speculation, one thing remains certain: this is no ordinary room. The mysteries of room 333 were as deep as they were terrifying. Our story takes a terrifying turn with the arrival of our next guest. Meet Mr. Smith, a weary traveler seeking a quiet night's rest who unknowingly checks into room 333. Oblivious to the hotel's spine-chilling lore, he's just another unsuspecting guest about to experience a night that he will remember for the rest of his life. As he enters the room, a sudden chill sweeps over him. Dismissing it as a draft, he shuts the door and the chill subsides. Unpacking his suitcase, he places his belongings neatly on the antique dresser. But as he turns to hang his coat, he finds his neatly arranged toiletries scattered across the room. A chill runs down his spine, but he brushes off the incident, blaming it on his exhaustion. Settling into bed, he reaches to turn off the bedside lamp when an eerie sound fills the room. It starts as a low hum, barely noticeable, but gradually it crescendos into an unnerving symphony of whispers. Mr. Smith jumps up, his heart pounding, scanning the room for the source of the noise. But the room is empty, and the noise abruptly stops. His pulse slowly returns to normal and he convinces himself that his mind is playing tricks on him. But just as he begins to drift off to sleep, he feels a sudden icy gust of wind. The curtains billow menacingly, and the room plunges into an inexplicable cold. Suddenly he sees his suitcase move inexplicably across the room. His heart pounding, he watches in terror as it stops abruptly, as if restrained by an unseen force. He stands frozen, his mind racing to rationalize what his eyes are seeing, but there's no logical explanation, only the chilling reality of the unseen guest that shares his room. As the night fell, the unseen guest in room 333 began to stir, setting the stage for an even more terrifying encounter. And as Mr. Smith soon discovers, when you check into room 333, you're never truly alone. In the dead of the night, the unseen became seen. The guest, now lying wide awake on the creaky bed, felt an icy chill creep up his spine. The room, once filled with an unsettling silence, was now echoing with faint whispers. The whispers grew louder and more insistent, the words unintelligible but the tone unmistakably pleading. Suddenly the temperature in the room plummeted. The guest's breath fogged in the air, his heart pounded in his chest like a wild drum. The whispers ceased, replaced by an oppressive silence that weighed heavy in the room. It was as if every atom was collectively holding its breath, waiting for something or someone to break the silence. And then, the spectral presence made itself known. It was a figure, indistinct and translucent, hovering near the foot of the bed. The guest felt his blood turn to ice as he met the gaze of the apparition. Its eyes, two hollow voids, seemed to stare into his very soul. The figure raised a hand, its form wavering like a candle flame in the wind, and pointed directly at the guest. The room, previously silent, was filled with an unearthly wail. The sound was a guttural cry of despair, a mournful lament that echoed off the walls. The guest was paralyzed with fear, his eyes locked on the spectral figure. The shriek seemed to go on forever, each second stretching into an eternity of terror. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the apparition vanished. The room was once again silent, the temperature slowly returning to normal, but the guest's heart continued to race, his skin prickled with goosebumps. The encounter had left him shaken to his core. With a newfound determination, the guest leapt from the bed, his belongings forgotten in his haste. He sprinted towards the door, his only thought to escape the haunted confines of room 333. As he flung the door open and fled into the safety of the hallway, he made a promise to himself. The guest fled room 333, vowing never to return. Even today, the spectral guest of room 333 refuses to check out. This chilling tale of the haunted hotel room, fraught with spectral encounters and eerie occurrences, continues to send shivers down the spines of those who dare to recount it. The room, with its notorious reputation, has become a chilling landmark, a testament to the supernatural that transcends the boundary of the living and the dead. Guests continue to report unsettling experiences despite multiple attempts to cleanse the room of its spectral inhabitant. Exorcisms, blessings, pleas, and prayers all fall on deaf ears, or perhaps non-existent ones. The room remains impervious to any spiritual intervention, its haunting presence undeterred, resolute in its spectral occupancy. Victims of these paranormal encounters have shared their stories, each more chilling than the last, painting a vivid picture of the unseen guest who refuses to vacate. And so, room 333 remains a chilling reminder that some guests, once checked in, never really check out.